Hello again, guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I've got this piece that I put on last week, and after doing some looking at this, and as you can see, I've got my roof, part of my roof mold sitting up here. Of course, it doesn't have the side panels, you know, that come up through here and tie all this in and ties this in better. But you can see I've got a little gap here. I'm going to say I'm not real happy with how this is lining up for me. So I think I'm going to stop on this part that I put on last week. And you can see a side view here of kind of what I've got. It looks kind of somewhat close, but I think what I'm going to wind up having to do is make a new roof. So that being said, I'm going to stop on the part that I put on my last video. You can see that this piece here is leaning down a little bit on this side. That's because over here on this corner here, it's sitting up a little bit. And the only way for me to make that sit down is I would have to cut my mold. And I'm not gonna cut my mold because it was very hard to get this mold here. So I don't want to damage that. So another issue that I have to deal with here on this is this side right here, which is the factory part. As you can see, looking down, you can see down here, it's straight up and down. And this right here is leaning back a little bit. So I'm either gonna have to come through here and cut this whole piece out all the way down. That's where it is cut and that's where it's put together at the factory. So I've got that piece from my new roof mold. So I'm going to be making probably all of that in one piece. So I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to be cutting this back panel completely off and starting over yet. I don't know. But what my plan is to get a new roof made, get it set up here. That way, if I need to make any cuts or anything like that, I can cut the part that I made and I won't have to cut the mold. So that's kind of where I'm at with that today. Once I get my roof made, my initial thought is on the other side, the driver's side there, I'm gonna make, I think, a template. It'll be a big template, but it's gonna sit right in this corner right here, all the way around. And again, this will be on the other side. I'm going to do that and I'm going to mark it up on the roof. That way I've got exact location for that roof to sit. And then I'm going to flip it around. And if I need to make another part or another pattern, that's fine too. But then I'm going to sit this on this side. That way it will locate the roof. So been thinking about it a little bit. If you guys have any other better ideas or something I'm missing here that I'm not seeing, I would appreciate if you guys would let me know. This is a big project to take on, but once I get this monocoque figured out, get it all, you know, back to as close as I can get it to factory. And then again, this is going to be a replica. Of course, I do want it to be as close to the original as possible. That's why I'm going through all this. But I mean, that's my initial thoughts right there. So I'm going to be starting on making a mold today. There's parts, the other parts of my roof mold. So I've got 3 more parts there. So it's a total of 4 pieces for this mold for the roof. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it off of the car here, off of the monocoque. And I'm going to start putting everything together. And if you look on this, so it goes all the way around. I've got holes in here. Sorry about that. I've got holes in here. These are drilled. I put bolts, nuts and bolts through here. That's what holds everything together. So once I get everything together, I'll have to flip it over. And then we're going to spray PVA on the inside, 3 coats. And then I'm going to skip the gel coat on this, just simply because I'm not going to need it on this piece, because this is not going to be the final project or product. It's just going to be you know, something that I can use to make my mold so I can make everything out of carbon fiber. So basically what I've been doing on the monocoque here is all going to be removed. So all this that I built down here is all going to be removed. The roof I'm going to take back off. So that's my thoughts there. I know it's going to be a long process, but that's what I want to do. I've spent a lot of years getting parts and stuff together to do this. So I'm fully vested. I'm dedicated to getting this thing done. I don't know if I show it in any of my other videos, but I've got that right there, which is the rear frame. It's hard to see, I know, because I got all sorts of stuff sitting under it. But I've also got another one there. So I've got two rear frames. They're both damaged. So I'm going to be cutting and basically making one frame out of both of these frames. So then of course I've already got the front frame. It's just got a little bent corner right here. Same on the other side, and that's all that's wrong with the front frame. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting this mold together, and I'll show you as I'm going along the way. Okay guys, so here's this mold. This is like I said, a 4-piece mold for the roof. So I got this all put together. I still have to tighten the bolts and stuff that the panels are attached, connected to. So you can see all my bolts down here. You know, I still got to go through and tighten all these guys up. But this is what it looks like. I don't have this back panel bolted on yet. It's just sitting there. Reason being is because if you bolt it on, you can't get into this flange right here correctly. See, it goes underneath the mold. So that gets sandwiched to this piece here. So if you have that bolted together, then you can't get this portion. So same thing in the middle here and right there on the other end. So this piece unfortunately has to be done separate. It's kind of tricky to do there because you want to try to have your fiberglass wet on this flange and this flange at the same time. That way when you bolt it together, it adheres to, you know, one another. But it's hard to do, but I do it every time. So I'm going to go ahead and get ready to tighten the bolts up, and you can see like along this edge right here, I've still got to fill this in, and this is, you know, a parting line which goes all the way down in between every piece. So I got to go along both of the sides, you know, right through here. And then of course I'll have to go along through the back there if I can. I don't think I can actually do that now, but so that's what I'm doing now. I'm just going to kind of go through and clean this mold up a little bit and get my plastiline, which this is plastiline. So this is kind of an old piece, so it's a little stiff to work with, but I got some other stuff. If anyone knows of a good filleting wax, drop me a line. I've been trying to get a hold of some. Filleting wax I would use in place of this plastiline. So this plastiline is what you use in your cracks right here, because you don't want your fiberglass resin and all that getting in between your pieces when you do it. So of course you want to have your filleting wax and all that in through the whole thing before you put your PVA down. So that's what I'm going to be kind of working on here for a little bit, and then I'll get to putting some PVA down. Okay guys, so I got molds and everything all cleaned up. I got my seams and everything, parting seams, got all that filled, got everything all sanded down smooth. So I got 2 pieces here. I'm going to go ahead and start putting down some PVA. number 1 of 3. So as soon as this dries, I'll be back and we'll do another coat. Okay, so here's coat number 2, guys. Okay guys, that's coat number 2. We'll be back for coat number 3. Okay, so here's coat number 3, guys. Guys, so I got my PVA on. I went ahead and started putting down some fiberglass. So I got this part here, I got one coat on here. So I'm going to work on the rest of this panel here. Just putting the resin on before I put my fiberglass mat on. now I'm going to go ahead and start wetting it out. It's just a time-consuming process, but if you're building a kit car or a replica or something like that, you got to get good with the fiberglass because you'll be doing a lot of it. Alright, well, I gotta mix up some more resin, so I'm gonna keep going on that, and I'll check back with you when I got a little farther. Okay, so I got my first coat on here, so I got the whole thing coated with one coat. So unfortunately, this is all I'm gonna do today. So I got a little bit done on this here too. But yeah, I need to put 2 more coats on this. So it's probably going to take me a couple weekends to do, but there's the start to that. And just want to thank you guys for watching my channel, and hit that notification bell. And going to go ahead and end the video for today, and we'll see you next week. Thanks.